Hello, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host. Just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona, and hopefully today with our bets, your bets, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Not NFL. How about college football week 6? Sorry about that. We're getting ahead of ourselves almost there on that one. Thursday, treated to a couple of good games. And we're dropping this episode for Friday. Friday's got a lot of games that we're heavily into as well. And there's a full slate. So let's get this party started, shall we? On that slate of games. So we'll get into the noon Eastern window is where we'll start. We went over Thursday and Friday in the previous episode here. So let's get started with that noon window. Missouri, Texas A&M, top 10 team, a dog on the road to Texas A&M, still ranked in the top 25. SEC battle here. I'm going to be honest with you here. Missouri has not played their best game. Not even close. Texas A&M, I think they have played their best game. So, which Missouri team's going to show up? I think maybe they get focused on the road here, and Brady Cook and Luther Burden just put this shit away and get it over with. There is no reason to jack around here. Maybe this gets them all excited and gets them all wound up or something. But they have got to put it together offensively. They're way too talented to keep jacking around like they've been doing here as of late. So I'm just a little shocked. Anyway, Missouri 2.5-point dog in this one at Texas A&M. We actually like Missouri on the money line here. We think they get their shit together this week, and it starts with this one here. So Missouri money line first quarter, Missouri money line first half, and Missouri money line for the game. No reason to even take the points. Next game up, also noon window games. We got Louisville SMU. So this game in Louisville coming off a bad loss against Notre Dame. I mean, Notre Dame's a good team. I mean, we all know Notre Dame had that one putrid loss against Northern Illinois. SMU beat up Florida State last week, but DJU threw 3 picks, and to be really honest, Florida State sucks. We'll find out how bad they are. They'll probably play better that DJU's going to be out this week, but it wouldn't shock me in the least. Louisville, a 6.5-point favorite at home. They tend to beat inferior competition and beat them up pretty bad here. So give us Louisville minus 1.5 first quarter, minus 3.5 first half, and 6.5 for the game. Next game up, UCLA Penn State. We don't have a play in this game. The line's at 28, total 46.5. It would not shock me, though, if UCLA covers this. If you want to play this game, I'd probably play UCLA first quarter, first half is where I'd spend a majority of the time. Penn State has struggled a little bit sometimes coming out of the gate. UCLA, I don't expect them to score a lot of points in this one, but I don't expect Penn State to run away with this thing and score 40 by themselves either. Like I said, no play for us in this particular game here. But we do we would lean UCLA side of the ball with the big points. Still in the noon window, Navy Air Force. Total, this line has moved. Navy was favored by 8 earlier in the week. This line's already moved to 10, 37 total. As most of the, Air Force and Army, Navy games, a lot of them, when they're playing each other, they tend to go under. Navy is quite a bit better than Air Force this year. Air Force having a down year. Game at Air Force, though, we do like Navy in this. We did grab it when it was 8, but we did play Navy minus 1/2 first quarter, 4.5 first half, and minus 8 for the game. Next game up, Purdue, Wisconsin. Purdue fires offensive coordinator Graham Harrell, really good Texas Tech quarterback. Purdue getting 13.5 on the road at Wisconsin. Wisconsin last week choked one off against USC, played a fantastic first half. Got a lot of turnovers, couldn't do much after that. No play for us in this particular game. A 13.5-point line, I think, is big for Wisconsin. I mean, if Purdue shows any signs of offensive life at all, Wisconsin's not covering. Totals at 45. We'd slightly lean, maybe with the Purdue shakeup, they score a few points. Still in that noon window, Army, Tulsa. If you guys haven't had a chance to watch Army yet, they are quite impressive what they can do on the ground. Tulsa, on the other hand, is quite disappointing defensively. This line, another one of those lines is kind of taken off. Army was at 10.5. This line's all the way up to 12.5. It's getting to the point of maybe not playing this thing. So if we're going to do it, buy it down here. Army, like, still minus 400 and some change on the money line, so not worth making a play there. But give us Army on that one. We'll give you the bets we took in that one. Army minus 2.5 first quarter, minus 6.5 first half, and minus 10.5 for the game. Next game up, Pitt, North Carolina. So North Carolina's played like dog doo-doo multiple weeks in a row. They got smacked by James Madison. They had a lead on Duke, gave that away. Pitt's played great. Well above expectations for Pitt. Pitt, 3-point favorite on the road, though. No play for us in this game. Should be a high-scoring game as the totals are set at 64. Would not be surprised if you see this game into the 70s. If we had to play anything on this one, it would be towards the over. Next game up, UMass, Northern Illinois. Still at that noon window. UMass is god-awful, okay? There's no question about it. They've been god-awful all season. Northern Illinois has got, one win, and it happened to be against Notre Dame. Northern Illinois is 16.5-point favorite. No play for us in this one, but we would actually lean to UMass in getting the points in this one there. Still in that noon window, Boston College, they're getting their starting quarterback, going to get back against Virginia. This line was 3.5. It's back down to 1. We actually we like Boston College to win this game outright, but we took Boston College money line first quarter, money line first half, and plus 3.5 for the game. Next game up, Wake Forest, North Carolina State. If you can tell me what either one of these teams is going to do, you might be the smartest ACC football person out there. Nobody knows what these two teams are doing. Wake Forest has been up and down. NC State should be a lot better than what they've played here. No play for us in this one, and to be really honest, I don't have a lean either way. I'd probably take points here with Wake Forest, just to have some points in your pocket, as both offenses have been a little disappointing. Next game up, 1 o'clock Eastern. One solo game at that time slot. Tulane, UAB. UAB got destroyed at home against Navy. Tulane has been, for a young quarterback, they've been awesome. Let's just put it to you that way. Tulane's been really, really good against bigger programs and beating up on the bad competition as well. We did Tulane in this one, but this line's gotten away again at 14.5 on Monday, Tuesday, all the way at 17 points here. We took Tulane minus 3.5 first quarter, minus 7.5 first half, and minus 14.5 for the game. 2 o'clock Eastern time, Western Michigan, Ball State. Let's see, Ball State getting 9.5 at home. Western Michigan played pretty well last week. Total of 56.5. We like the under in that thing if we were going to play anything, but no play for us in that one. Now we get to the 3:30 Eastern window. Iowa, Ohio State. Should be a defensive and a half battle here. You got a good defense in Iowa, a really good defense as well in Ohio State. 45.5 total. No play for us in this particular game here. But if we were going to play anything, it would be under that 45.5, as we don't know if Iowa is going to contribute much to that side of the scoring. 3:30 Eastern window, Auburn, Georgia. Georgia comes off the game of the year. Unfortunately, Carson Beck threw enough interceptions to fill up a boat. Auburn's played like garbage. I don't know how you could lay any points here with Auburn, but I will hesitate. You do not play Georgia in the first quarter. They have been so slow to come out on games. 51.5 total there. We would lay it with Georgia. No betting for us in that one, though. Next game up, same thing with Ole Miss and South Carolina. Ole Miss absolutely shit the bed last week with Kentucky. You have to have more of an offense than if we don't run it and get 8 yards on first or second down, we just launch it down the field. We can't complete a pass for like a first down to keep the ball. And then we let our defense just hang out there for hours and hours. Ole Miss favored by 8.5, total 53.5. I'll be really honest with you. South Carolina's got the best D-line and pass rushers in all of college football. That's a problem for Ole Miss, especially if they play like they did last week in that offensive line. Would not surprise me here. South Carolina even gets a great shot to win this game straight up. But definitely like South Carolina plus the points. No play for in this one, but if we had to play it, South Carolina's the way we go. Same time frame, Indiana, Northwestern. We do like this game quite a bit. Indiana's offense is for real. Northwestern can't score. Total in this game's 41.5. I'm not sure. I know it's on the road, and Big Ten road games, just like all road games in conference, are going to be tough. But less than 2 touchdowns here, and the line hasn't took off. I'm kind of shocked about that. I mean, we got it at 13. It's at 13.5. I'm shocked this thing isn't at 17 already. So value here, speaking in droves. Indiana -3 in the first quarter, 6.5 first half, and 13 for the game. Virginia Tech, Stanford. I honestly think the wrong team might be favored here. And Stanford's getting 8 at home. Virginia Tech hasn't done anything. Stanford's has won a game on the road at Syracuse. They've played well. I understand they're not a fantastic team. They do cause some matchup problems for some teams, but like they did for Syracuse. But getting 8 at home, no play for us in this one. But to be really honest, I'd play Stanford all day and twice on Sunday if we were going to be in this one. Same time frame, that 30:30 Eastern. Temple and UConn, folks. UConn has come out to play lately. This line, and obviously everybody's taking a notice of it as well, because this line's kind of gotten out of control as well. UConn now favored by 17, 50.5 total. Temple is not good. We said this a couple weeks ago when we faded Temple. We're fading Temple again. We got UConn at 14, not 17 though. It wouldn't be as big a bet for us, but we did play UConn -4.5 for the first quarter, -7.5 in the first half, -14 for the game. Next game up, Bowling Green, Akron. Two teams that don't know what the heck they're doing when it comes to offensive football. Total at 51. I'm just going to say good luck, and we'll kind of go from there. No play for us in this game. I couldn't even, to be really honest, wouldn't even give a lean in it. Miami, Ohio, Toledo. Toledo, folks, is real. I'm just going to say that. They are real. They are a good football team. Miami, Ohio is Miami, Ohio struggles to score, put points up on the board. Toledo should not struggle in that area, even though the total is only 44. Toledo, and the line's still 6.5. Take this all day and twice on Sunday to the bank. Toledo -1.5 first quarter, -3.5 first half, and -6.5 for the game. Appalachian State and Marshall. This line moving as well. Let's see. Monday, this line was what? Marshall was -1.5, now all the way up to 3. Total at 58 on this one. To me, this is a pretty simple cover here for Marshall. I'm shocked that, I think they win this thing by 2 touchdowns. As Appalachian State just cannot, defense isn't bad, but they cannot score offensively. Marshall is not like world beaters at offense, but they'll figure out enough ways to score and get this game in the books. Marshall -0.5 first quarter, -1.5 first half, and 1.5 for the game. Next game up, East Carolina, Charlotte. Charlotte's kind of where we expected they were, and that's like bottom 20 teams of all of college football. Eastern Carolina laying 8.5. The line's moved about a point so far this week. East Carolina is a much better team here. Power rankings team, it might be 100 spots between the two teams. So lay the points with East Carolina on the road. -0.5 first quarter, -4.5 first half, and -7.5 for the game. Next game up, Rutgers, Nebraska. This one's a tough one here. Nebraska's at home. Rutgers they played well at home. On the road's been 7-point favorite though for Dylan Raiola against a pretty good defense. I don't know about that one. Total's at 40 in this game, so awful low total here as well. If we had a lean, it would be Rutgers plus the points in a low-scoring matchup like this one, but no play for us in this one as well. 4 o'clock Eastern time frame, West Virginia, Oklahoma State. Okie State has a problem. They can't stop anybody. Oh my God, Kansas State is still scoring. West Virginia obviously got trounced by Penn State, but they've played pretty well. They came back against Kansas, but that was at home. This game's on the road. Oklahoma State favored by 3 here. I'd play no play for us in this one, but it would be an over 64.5, and we wouldn't even sweat it. I just think both teams are going to march up and down the field without much opposition in that one at all. 4:15 Eastern time, Alabama, Vanderbilt. Perfect letdown spot here for Bama. 22.5 point favorite against Vanderbilt. If we were going to play this game, we don't have a play. It would be Vanderbilt plus the points in the first quarter and first half. It's not that I think Vandy can keep up with them. You come off that game against Georgia when you had the 28-0 lead, and then you give up the lead in the second half and have to make a deep throw to Ryan Williams to get that thing done. Probably typical letdown spot here. Like I said, we'd play Vanderbilt first quarter, first half, but no play for us there. 6:30 Eastern, Colorado State, Oregon State. Line's at 11.5 here at Oregon State. I will say this: Oregon State is not the absolute world beater of the world, but Colorado State, folks, is god awful. And they're on the road. Lay the points here with Oregon State. That's how we bet this one. Oregon State -3.5 first quarter, -6.5 first half, and -11.5 for the game. Next game up, Clemson, Florida State. This line's taken off as well. Obviously, DJU's not playing. That might actually help Florida State in this matchup. Cade Klubnik has been absolutely on fire the last few games. Ever since that Georgia game, Clemson looks like a whole new team. I mean, I don't even know who this team is. It's scary. This line was 14, now at 15 in this one. We did take Clemson at the 14 number. I think you're okay here at 15 as well. Clemson -3.5 first quarter, -7.5 first half, and -14 for the game. Next game up, Utah State, Boise State. Boise State, if you haven't watched their running back, I highly recommend you take you sit for a couple hours and watch this kid that's carrying the ball, averaging like 10 yards a clip. It's well worth your time, trust me. Boise State at home on the Smurf turf. No play for us in this one. The line's just a shade high. If this thing was 21, we'd have been all over it, but 4 touchdowns is a shade much. But we would lean Boise State in that one quite a bit. 7 o'clock Eastern time, James Madison, ULM. I'll give you a little hint, folks. If you want to watch some fun football, watch James Madison for a game. They're playing Louisiana Monroe in this one. They're a 15.5 point favorite on the road. This line hasn't adjusted too much, but James Madison should be a 4 touchdown favorite in this one. I think the books are just a little shy making it that high, thinking way too much action come on the other side. But James Madison is the play here, -3.5 first quarter, -7.5 first half, and -15 for the game. Next game up, South Alabama, Arkansas State. Here is the difference in this game here. South Alabama can score almost on anybody. Arkansas State can't. South Alabama only favored by a field goal here. Kind of surprised that it went from 2.5 to 3, so I guess there is a little bit of coming in on it, but be really honest here, this should be a blowout. South Alabama should win by 3 touchdowns. South Alabama, -0.5 first quarter, 1.5 first half, and 2.5 for the game. Next game up, Old Dominion, Coastal Carolina. Coastal at home, 5-point favorite, 52 total. Good luck figuring this one out. Coastal should win this game. I think 5 might be an off number. They could win this thing by a field goal, touchdown, somewhere in between. Not a ton of value there on that one. Another 7 o'clock Eastern time, Louisiana, Southern Miss. Louisiana's pretty solid. Southern Miss, not so bueno. That's why Louisiana's favored by 17 in this one on the road. Not a play for us in this one either, but would lean Louisiana to cover there. 7:30 Eastern time, Tennessee, Arkansas. Tennessee's defense for real. Tennessee's offense for real. They scored 25 against Oklahoma's defense, which is pretty solid. Arkansas doesn't have near that defense, so therefore we think Tennessee's going to put up 40 or so points, and their defense is stout enough to maybe hold Arkansas under 2 touchdowns. Tennessee currently a 14-point favorite. They were 13.5 a little bit earlier in the week. They're coming off a bye week. Tennessee's really good, folks. They're a college football team. They got a great college football playoff team, and they have an excellent shot to make the SEC title game. As we can see, Georgia's down a little bit by getting their butts, handed to them pretty solidly by Bama. Final score didn't indicate it, but for 3 quarters they got beat up. But Tennessee -3.5 first quarter, 6.5 first half, and 13.5 for the game. Michigan, Washington. So another top 10 team, which I can't believe Michigan is, a road dog. This line was 3 down to 1.5. A lot of people like the Michigan name, obviously coming off a national championship. Washington's been a shade iffy. They're not as dynamic as they were last year. I mean, they don't have Penix, they don't have Polk, they don't have Roma Odunze. They just don't have all those dudes. Jedd Fisch will get that program strong again. No question. Big loss for Arizona from him going to Washington, but money talks and bullshit walks, right? No play for us in this one, but we would lean Washington minus the 1.5. 7:30 Eastern time, USC, Minnesota. This line has moved a little bit as well. USC is the better team here. Minnesota struggles to score. They can run the ball a little bit, which makes it a little bit concerning there with that USC defense, as Michigan ran the ball all day on them. Here's the thing, though. Michigan had 3 huge runs and 40 other runs of 3 yards or less. But they had 3 runs of 50+. USC can give up the big play, but we love USC in this spot on the road. -2.5 first quarter, minus 4.5 first half, and 8.5 for the game. Next game up, Baylor, Iowa State. Iowa State's been playing really well. Baylor, chance to knock off a top 25 team last week through way too many turnovers for that one. Iowa State, though, 13-point favorite here. That is a lot of points. 44.5 total. No play for us, but it would be on the over. Nevada, San Jose State. San Jose State favored by a touchdown. Nevada back on the road. San Jose should be able to take care of business. No bet for us in this one either. But they should be able to handle the business and take care and cover that 7. 4:45 out here in Phoenix, 7:45 Eastern time, UCF, Florida. So we're going to find out if Florida is actually for real, I think, this week. UCF they should have killed Colorado last week, and they laid an absolute egg. They're on the road, playing Florida. They're a 2.5-point favorite. They are one of the best rushing teams in the country, and they should be able to slow down Florida a little bit. They have to run the ball better. I don't know what they were doing last week against Colorado. I expect them to turn it around here. 2.5-point favorite. No play for us, but we would lean UCF in that one. Kansas, Arizona State, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Kansas coming out here to Tempe, Arizona, where it's supposed to be 100+ degrees at game time. It has been hotter than shit out here we've had record highs all week. It's supposed to run through the weekend. Arizona State, 2.5-point favorite, and they should be because Kansas has found ways to lose games. No play for us in this one, but we would lean Arizona State minus the 2.5. 8 o'clock Eastern time games as well, a few more. We've got Duke, Georgia Tech. Duke got real lucky to beat North Carolina last week. Georgia Tech coming off a bye here. We do like G-Tech in this one. No play for us, but we would lay the 10 with them. Hawaii, San Diego State. No play for us in this game either. Hawaii traveling to SDSU. We would lay the 2 points here with San Diego. All right, 2 games left on the board. We go to 10:30 Eastern time. Miami, Florida, and Cal. Cal's first ever college game day for ESPN showing up. 10.5-point dog at home. Miami got extremely lucky to win last week because Cam Ward, way too many turnovers. If they're going to be that loose with the ball, they're going to lose this game. That can't happen again. Being the first college game day, no play for us in this one, but we would take the 10.5 with Cal. And last game, Arizona at home, 11 o'clock Eastern time, hosting Texas Tech. Arizona beat up Utah. Finally, the Utah team looked like a team with a backup quarterback and Zach Wilson's brother instead of Cam Rising. I don't know what's going on with Cam, how much longer he's going to be out, or if he's going to be out any longer. Arizona, 6.5-point favorite here. No play for us in this one either, but we would lay it with Arizona. I just think Arizona's offense is better than what Tech can do. Tech has to run the ball. I know we think of Tech as a big-time throwing team, but they really have to run the ball in order to make the machine work. No play for us, like I said, in that one, but we would lay with Arizona with the 6.5. So just a short run-through again. Missouri, Louisville, Navy, Army, Boston College, Tulane, Indiana, UConn, Marshall, Toledo, East Carolina, Oregon State, Clemson, James Madison, South Alabama, Tennessee, and USC is who we're behind. And just a little bit of reminder of games coming up next week. Ohio State at Oregon. Love it. Penn State at USC. Love it. Washington, Iowa next week. South Carolina, Alabama. Texas, Oklahoma. Louisville, Virginia. Pitt, Cal. Arizona, BYU. That's a sneaky matchup. Florida, Tennessee. Ole Miss, LSU. And Kansas State and Colorado. A lot of big matchups next week. So expect, we're going to have obviously some monster board next week as well. But this is going to be, I'm going to tell you right now, the way the slate looks, this should be extremely profitable week. So make sure you hop on board. Obviously, we just went through a bunch of bets. How do you get to see all of those? We've got it posted in multiple spots online for you to take a look. YouTube and TikTok channel pages as well at the end of every episode on YouTube. Docs.google.com/spreadsheet, bunch of other stuff behind it. Click on that link. Go to Football 24-25 tab. Scroll down to College Football Week 6. You'll be able to see all of those bets, plus all the Thursday and Friday stuff we had for you as well. So make sure you check that out when you get some time. Do you like the content that you're seeing here and want to see some more? We'd love to have you along for the ride. Hit follow or subscribe, depending on the social media platform you're watching us on, and we will show up in your follow or subscriptions tab every time we drop a new episode of Bets. Also, private Discord channel available to everybody out there. You have to subscribe to us through TikTok, depending on what level of the amount of Discord action you want. It's $6, $10, or $25 a month. It's cheaper than Netflix. And not only that, we're going to make you money and save you money all at the same time. Save you money on juice and lines, and we're going to make you money on football, basketball, baseball, everything. Basically, no hockey, no soccer, but almost everything else we're going to be heavily involved in. Lots of action. So if you like having bets on them, a lot of different things, we're going to be your type of show and your type of Discord for you to take advantage of. So make sure you check that out when you get a couple minutes. And also, we've got tons of promo bonus bets to give away from our partners to you. Same 2 spots online, TikTok and YouTube channel pages, as well at the end of every episode on YouTube. It's that's bit.ly/sportsbets for free -BH. Click on that link. It'll automatically fault the state that you're in and show you all the options we have from online casinos, sportsbooks, and fantasy sites for you to take advantage of their money, not your money. We do appreciate everybody's support, as always, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.